Good over there, Tommy, I'm telling you.
Already lit up on social media, everybody bragging on it.
It really looks good. I was just tickled.
That's good. Good morning. It's 9:03 a.m. on Monday, October 21st, 2024. Call this meeting of the Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. If everyone would please stand, I will do our invocation. Please pray with me. Holy Father, thank you for the privilege and the responsibility that you have given every person in this room who serves their fellow residents by working for county government. Lord, I pray that you would be with this body as we make decisions this morning, that you would give us wisdom, that you would keep us humble, keep our eyes and vision focused on you and your will. And Lord, I pray a special prayer for protection for our nation right now. We start early voting today here in Texas, and this is a contentious election. And so pray that you would have a spirit of peace and that you would let that manifest itself across our nation, that you would guide us in our decisions, and Lord, that you would allow our nation to be one and be able to come together after this election is over, no matter how those results go. And Lord, I pray that you would be with those who protect and serve us, both abroad and at home, and that you would protect their families, keep their families strong, protect their safety and security. Lord, thank you for the blessing that we get to live here. Thank you for the blessing that we get to elect our leaders. And just pray that we would take that responsibility seriously and soberly. Pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Join us for the pledge to the U.S. flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the Texas pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, everyone have a seat. All right, it is 9:05. We will open up for public comment. I remind everyone that public comments need to be limited to 5 minutes or less, and the Commissioners Court cannot take action on items brought up during public comment. Does anyone have any public comment this morning?
Just one, Judge, I would congratulate our historical society here actually, I think we did 3 Saturday, didn't we, Mark? I know you were
I was
involved.
only at one.
And honoring some people. Those notices that we post around the county are really well done. And I'm glad that we're excited about our heritage and the people that have helped bring the name of Wichita County, Wichita Falls, all of these surrounding communities. But it was great when we went, Mark and I were both, and you were there, the Boyd Ruby deal. See, they need a tall guy like the judge here to help lift the deal off. But anyway, no, it was a great celebration, and I'm glad our community does that, and that group does a great job. So congratulations to them.
Got to meet one of my childhood heroes there too, Johnny
Yeah.
Rutherford,
Yeah,
three-time
got his
Indy
autograph.
500 winner.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Very good. It
Yeah.
was cool. Good turnout.
It was.
too,
It was
on
good to see
Saturday
so many
afternoon.
people there.
Yep. Very good.
All right. I will just make note that, as said earlier, today marks the start of early voting. We've got our 6 locations open across the county. If anyone has any questions or wants to find out information about voting hours, locations, look at the ballot, everything, that is on the county elections website. So just go to the county homepage, look at the election information tab, and give you everything you need.
It was encouraging this morning, the line out the courthouse lawn.
Yep, and prior to
Yeah.
coming here, I was
Sidewalk.
over at the MLK Center, another site, and their line was nearly out the door, so
Well,
it's,
That's
it
good.
was good to see.
That's good. I hope it stays that way.
Yeah. All right, we have any other public comment? Okay, it is 9:08, and public comments are closed. So we will move along to the consent agenda, and I'm going to disappoint Commissioner Watts, who's not here. I'm not going to change up how we do consent agenda voting today. But,
We had a rules of order discussion
Yes,
last week.
on Friday we
Yeah.
did. There are a couple of changes I need to propose to items on the consent agenda, so I'll go through those and then we can do questions and comments. Item number 2, the fund from that, it says, motion to approve Tusa Consulting Services LLC invoice number 18041 in the amount of $6,930 for work done on the communications tower construction project to be paid from Fund 409 with lines determined by the county auditor. That should be to be paid from ARPA with lines determined by the county auditor. Is there any objection to that change? Okay. Item number 4, there is no fund listed, so that should say motion to approve payment of less than $1,000 for the 2024 Safety Awards Luncheon to be paid from Fund 404 with lines determined by the county auditor.
What's 404?
It is HR, and then they have a budgeted item
Yeah, but-
for
yeah, they
employee
do.
awards.
Department 4.
Yeah, Department 404, sorry, you're right.
Can't remember all these department numbers.
All right, so that should say to be paid from Department 404 with lines determined. Any objection to that change?
No. Motion to approve
Oh,
consent agenda.
hold on, I got one more.
One more?
We're not
Okay.
Sorry. And then item number 5, that also does not have, it's got the, I think it's confusing the way it's listed. So that should say, at a cost of $2,000 to be paid from Permanent Improvement Fund instead of Fund 401 Permanent
Number
Improvement.
5,
Yeah, consent agenda number 5,
it should be paid for out of the project.
which is coming out of Permanent Improvement.
No, it's contingencies within the project.
Okay?
It's no
Yeah,
new,
but-
no new money.
They're, right, he's just approving the project invoice.
Oh,
It's still
okay.
coming out of the project.
Okay. I don't remember ever doing it that way. Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Those are the only changes that
Okay.
that I have. Does anyone else have any questions or comments on items on the consent agenda?
A motion to approve as amended.
Second.
Before we vote, Tommy, the online auction portal, what auctions will those be for?
Property only, Judge.
Property only? Okay. Everything looked good on it, I just wasn't sure.
That's property only, yes, sir.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Mahler to approve the consent agenda as amended. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the items on the consent agenda? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0. On to general business. Item number 1, receive activities report from the Indigent Healthcare Office. Good morning.
Thank you.
And if you want to leave the extras,
Okay,
we'll
yeah,
make sure
yeah.
we get them distributed.
And they were at conference last week, so all schooled up and
Alrighty. So I believe the last time we spoke with y'all was back in July, about 3 months ago, so we're doing these quarterly now. The first page is actually gonna go over all of our clientele that we still currently have. It's still a stagnant number, 79 to 80 people that we're running about. 3 months ago, we were a trio, now we are a duo. It doesn't really affect anything across the board for us, so we're completely fine, the communication's still there. Then we're gonna go into the packet. 3 months ago, starting in July, we've done a lot more outreach, a lot more meeting with our focus, with our community-based programs. So it goes July all the way into our current month of October. We just got back from our TICA conference, which is the Texas Indigent Healthcare Coalition Conference. It based over 130 new attendees this year. So it was really cool to actually meet with different counties, how they do their operations depending on their sizing. Some of them are ran like just one person for the entire thing. Some only have 10 clientele. Some have over, I think it was 2,000 was the biggest one, clientels, and that's not even including their jail. So we got to learn a lot of different broad perspectives and how they each run their department. So we would like to bring some of that into play after we get done talking, just as a general. Other than that, nothing's really changed since the last time we've seen you, other than just going from a trio to a duo. So everything's been running pretty smoothly. Our communication with our facilities have been fantastic. We haven't had any complaints across the board for anything, really. So if y'all have any questions, we're free to answer them.
How are our cremations going?
Great.
Fantastic, actually. The numbers have been really good, really, really well.
Up or down or staying the same?
Compared to last year, they've actually been less. We've done a
Okay.
lot more investigation in regards to reaching out to finding people, compared to coming as unclaimed or utilizing the third party in regards to like UNT, UT to do those cremations for free for their clientele so they can get those ashes back.
But our number of claims are still going up in the office, but we're able to
Oh, they're
move those
pretty,
into.
yeah, they're pretty stagnant. So I mean, other than that, that hasn't really changed.
and that-
But the approval rates have
Yeah.
changed. So
So,
they've
but
gone
that
down.
was something that
Yeah.
was not being utilized to its full
Correct.
extent. just
Correct.
a year or
I
so
think
ago.
since February when we started doing it, I think we only had like 21 cremations that have actually been approved, so.
Okay. Because we were really seeing an exponential growth yearly on that, so,
Mhm.
thank you.
Do the majority of your interactions come from people that know about you and seek you out, or are there agencies referring? Where does the bulk of the people come from? How do they
United
know?
Regional. United Regional is a very big
Yeah.
provider of ours, other than Faith Mission and the Refuge. As just regular clientele, like walk-ins, it would have to be the Transition Clinic, United Regionals, ER, the RCA program, all of that's umbrellaed underneath each other. So the communication there is just fantastic now. Before we didn't have a lot of communication, but now they're opening up and they're realizing, oh, they're helping our clientele. They're not just pushing them away. They're able to assist them with whatever needs they need. So,
That would make sense because just the average individual might not realize
Yes,
that,
sir.
you know, what's available and where to go, so
Correct.
that's a
Correct.
good connection.
yes, sir.
Right.
Ha-
Yeah.
Have we dropped our maximum prescription rate for a single prescription?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I know the last time we got you some numbers, it was sitting about 2,000 per prescription, I believe.
That's what ours is currently.
So
but
we
most-
haven't looked at it. We've talked with a few other counties. We might in the future drop it down to even 800 potentially after
Okay.
talking with you.
Yeah, I saw about the highest was 1,000.
Yeah.
So we're double what the
Yeah.
highest county. So what that means is if they can go to provider and get a prescription up to $2,000 currently without having to have an override.
Correct.
We're looking at lowering that down to
Correct.
1,000 or less.
They still could, but it would
They
have
still
to be-
could, it would have to be overridden.
Correct.
Luckily, right now, we're not seeing a great number of high-end prescriptions like we were 5,
Correct.
7 years ago.
Yes,
So,
because we've partnered a lot with St. Vincent and the Transition Clinic, who also uses St. Vincent's DePaul Pharmacy. It's based out of Bell County, I believe it is, Dallas, Fort Worth. And it's an online prescription facility that hosts over 3,000 prescriptions on hand. And they can ship them to like even our little rural areas out in the Wichita, Tacoma community. As long as there's a physical address, they can ship it to wherever.
which
So, do we
really has
utilize-
helped our bottom
It
line.
really has, and a lot of the people through TICA did not utilize that, and so I think their numbers are gonna increase. So there might be a little bit more of a hiccup. They're looking about a 21-day delay as of right now, currently, without the additional applications for them. So, but we do utilize them. We utilize the RX program, the PCP programs that our primary doctors have for our clients. So I mean, that's kind of why the numbers for prescriptions have gone down.
And it used to be,
Tremendous.
it used to be really tremendous.
Yeah.
Barry can attest, when we used to go through the bills by hand, every week, every 2 weeks, we were getting massive bills for 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 for one client. So it's much appreciated that we're really looking at other ways to move that onto someone else, which we are supposed to be payer of last resort, so we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
To kind of just give like a standard number, I believe it was like 1.2 prior to like 2017, I think is as far as I went back to currently, which the full year hasn't succeeded yet. I think we're looking at 683.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I mean, yes, it's still a lot, but we're still trying to get those numbers to go down with adding more providers, adding more PCP programs, adding more prescriptions assistance programs, and utilizing as much resources that we can.
Excellent.
Great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, great.
All right, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Item number 2, receive the September 2024 Treasury Report. Mr. Jones?
Are we not paying bills or consent agenda?
Do what?
Are we not, are we not paying bills and reviewing minutes? I'm sorry.
It's not on there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so September, we didn't have a whole lot of surprises. Pretty much everything went the way we thought it would. As far as our American National Bank stuff, you can see the interest has dropped a little bit. We knew that was going to happen. It's been hovering around 5.5, 5.4, down to 5.18 right now on our money market accounts. So that's just, we knew that was happening, so we're not too upset about that. So there's not many big surprises in there. Our debt service went down, but we knew that was going to happen too because we had our big LEC bond payment this month, or in September. As far as text pool and Texas class, same thing. Our balances have gone down because we've been paying our bills out of that. And I'm going to be losing more weight over the next month or so while I sweat it as our balances continue to go down. But I've been told that letters have started to go out. So we'll start having income after that again. So that'll be nice.
With the Fed moving their rate, has that really affected us at any?
Yeah, it's
at all
pretty
yet?
much directly. That's why money market went down. That's why text pool and Texas class went down. You can see in July and August, we were still around 5.43 on those two, and now we're down to 5.04 between the two of them. So our interest has gone down. First part of the year, February and March, we were totaling around $300,000 a month in interest, and now we're a little less than $2. But that's just a combination of the interest going down a little bit, but also our balance has gone down quite a bit. So that's the part of the cycle that we go through.
Yeah. Well, we're really trending down on that cash balance per month.
Yeah.
compared to others.
So we've been,
It's really taken a dive.
yeah, we've gone down $7 million over the last two months together. So, or each of the last 2 months.
Well, if I wouldn't spend $1 million of it, then.
Right, there you go. That's on the list for today. It's also, I see numbers like that and it makes me be nervous.
I mean, it's in line with historical
Yeah.
trends.
I
It's
know.
just
You can see that gap widening between historical trends and where we're at now.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I've been fairly nervous over that for a while now, but it's on.
But we're about to turn the corner and.
Yeah, when revenues start coming back in, we'll go back up, but doesn't stop me from worrying.
When
So
Tommy's love letters go out.
yeah,
Well, I put 79,662 love letters in the mail on Friday.
Ooh,
there you go.
It'll
So
hit mailboxes today, Judge.
maybe mine will get lost.
We can make you do
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
But let me know if you don't get it.
I love to go to the mailbox and you've got it about that thick. Oh, Tommy.
Yeah, so once that starts coming in, I'll be feeling a little better over there. But, until then, I'll continue to worry because that's my job. But for now, we're okay on general fund. We've talked about some of the other funds, and as it starts to increase, we'll be doing better there too. So, and pushing ahead a little bit, we did make our last loan payment on the LEC for the year in September. That's the big one for the year, $2.5 million. And I believe we're pretty close to already having enough for the first one in January in our savings. So as soon as the revenue starts coming back in, we'll be fine there, which that's the whole point of it. That's why we do that. So, but it's nice now that we don't have to pay on that loan for another 3 months.
Probably way too early in the process that's playing out right now to have any idea what this interest rate deal is gonna do.
Honestly, I don't think that anybody in the economics at all is real comfortable with making predictions past the next 3 weeks.
I could understand that.
Like the rest of us, I don't think any of us know what's gonna happen after 3 weeks from now, so.
You think their number just, they're nervous, just think about some of the pollsters.
Yeah.
Got their name on the line now.
Right.
Yeah, I've got tobacco board this week. I can't wait to hear from the experts because we
Yeah.
get a good rundown of forecasting, so.
Yeah, and I was in conference 2 weeks ago, and I know you heard from Chittenden this week too. He's pretty much like the best guy I've seen about that stuff, and he doesn't know what's gonna happen either.
Too many balls in the air.
Yeah, as a math guy, once you get past 2 or 3 variables, it gets really difficult, and I think they're dealing with 700 or 800 variables at this point, so.
I was telling the judge earlier, one of the things I've noticed over the last number of days is all the pollsters they're taking protection. They're going for cover over the next few days to see where we're headed. This deal's going to be fun to watch.
I think they're all trying to hedge their bets and say, oh, it's too close for us to tell at this point. We don't know.
Yeah.
But we do expect, as far as I know, we still expect the Fed to lower another 50 basis points by the end of the year. So we'll
talk that I've heard, so.
Yeah, so we'll see that. We'll see our rates go down a little bit more. But either way, it's still a lot better than it was 3 years ago. But it's nice that we made hay while the sun was shining there for a while.
You go through that little period, and there was a little bit of an overlap. That worst case scenario of inflated prices and yet very low return on your investments, and boy, that was a tremendous gap that'll wound you pretty quick.
Yeah, most sciences we've got 1,000 years worth of data to look back on, and world economics we've got a couple hundred years maybe. So it's
And
we
right now, none of the trends meet anything that's happened in the past.
yeah, we keep finding data that nobody's seen before. So
Yeah. It's a crazy market.
yeah, I wouldn't want that job. But for now, what we do is we fall back on PFIA and we protect what we have, and we try to do the best with what we're given and keep the taxpayers' money safe while we have it.
That's why those boundaries were created.
Absolutely. Any questions on any of the rest of those?
Very good.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
And Tommy, last year, your love letters, as someone called them, those went out about 6 weeks later?
Yeah.
Okay, so that will change too a little bit on,
That'll change the trajectory. I think Barry may have asked in the past, and we certainly can pull the numbers to Stephen's point, but you'll be surprised. There's a tremendous amount of taxpayers that pay it when they get it.
Get right on it.
So it'll start picking up its own momentum, Judge. But yeah, because of the issues we had last year with, Senate Bill 2 and everything, we were that's the latest, but we were not the only ones that did that.
Right. No,
But again, we're extremely happy where we're at this year. We're even ahead this year as far as the trajectory on where we normally are at on our percentage on total collection. So we made a good landing on that. But it'll start. That should be starting. I don't know. Might even possibly some of them landed Saturday, but I'm pretty certain today or tomorrow that they'll start hitting mailboxes in Wichita County.
okay. Thank you. Any other questions on that item? All right, item number 3 is discuss, consider, and/or take action to authorize the county judge to sign the interlocal agreement between the City of Wichita Falls and County of Wichita, Texas for the 2024 Burn Justice Grant, JAG Program Award. Chief, I left my notes on that. Do you want to talk about this at all, or can you talk about this at all?
I can talk a little bit. I think the other chief's here for the city talk meeting, so. This is our annual grant. We go with the city on purchasing items for this grant. I think this year's items are equipment and, some additions and stuff that will allow us to teach the, alert training, which is now required by Tacoma. Every peace officer have it every 2 years. So a lot of it is the equipment to wear for you don't get hurt and get hit by some missions.
The city receives the funds and then they distribute to us.
Judge, that's been an ongoing, I think, good working relationship. I wouldn't see any reason why we wouldn't want to do that. I'd make a motion, we approve that.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Mahler, seconded by Commissioner Beecham to authorize county judge to sign the interlocal agreement. We have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion's before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0. Item number 4, discuss, consider, and/or take action on realignment of tax assessor office salaries. Realignment will not exceed 2025, budgeted by position maximums, and is funded through tax collection agreement services from one outside agency. Effective date of this change will be October 11, 2024 for purposes of the payroll disbursement to be made on November 1st, 2024. Allow for a budget transfer from Department 1004090, non-departmental, if necessary. I'm not sure, Tommy, is this yours? Matt, is this yours? Who wants to speak on this one?
Well, I'll tell you what, I certainly have no issue deferring this to the gentleman up here in this sport coat. I think he'll probably have a far better presentation. I can give you some of the backstory on the judge, but if you don't mind, I'm gonna let Matt run the football and I'll block for him if I have to.
Okay.
So in 2019, we began collecting for another tax agency in our county. And at that time, the prior budget cycle, the tax office had lost a couple positions just due to the nature of the budget. And they took on this additional taxing agency, and the court at that time had adopted a policy to go ahead and raise them up to the next year's budget maximums for taking on that tax collection agency. It was at that time that a agreement with the prior court had said that they would look at doing that each year, and unfortunately that didn't happen. So what this item is for today is to just bring them up to their 2025 budgeted by position maximum, and it will be primarily offset with this year's tax billing that we've already sent out to that agency that will collect over the next 3 or 4 months, and then will also be offset with some of the previous year's collections that we've received from that tax agency. So,
Are we going to, if some of it's being offset by previous year's collection,
right.
are we going to be in a situation a year from now where we're behind the 8 ball on that because we used funds that were left over from previous years that won't be there any longer?
So it's all going to the general fund, and it's just been essentially just adding to our reserves, and they have not used those funds. So there's about around 25,000, and this would take out about 8,000 of that with all of your associated costs. And so there might be a time next year where we say to raise it to the 2026 maximums, and it would still come out of that prior year allotment, but it wouldn't be anything significant. And they also transfer from the dealer escrow account to the general, so that's 45,000 that is also coming into revenue in the general fund from a fee fund, from that dealer escrow fund.
And this is independent of, this is nothing to do with the school safety fee collection, for
Right.
example? Okay. When I initially saw it, that's what I thought this was dealing with, okay. Okay, and everyone in your backup, you should have, Tommy and his staff included the position numbers and the changes and what the cost of that in additional salary will be plus fringe through the rest of this year, which is $8,150.89.
But it stays within the budgeted amount that they have.
For 2025.
Okay.
Are you asking if
No.
this amount stays within the 2024
For
budgeted
budgeted
amount?
amount
Uh,
because of
It should, because they've had positions that have been
positions
vacant.
open, yeah.
But the court order does say allow for a budget transfer if necessary,
Okay.
but I don't
Yeah.
assume that'll happen.
Well, and I hadn't looked at it in the last couple of weeks, but when looking at the tax assessor collector departmental budget report, the year-to-dates a couple of weeks ago, they're under in other areas too that would
Yeah.
be able to
Okay.
cover any gap.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Mahler, to approve this realignment of tax assessor office salaries with an effective date of October 11, 2024, and to allow for a potential budget transfer from 409 if necessary. Do we have any questions or comments about the motion or the item? All right, that motion's before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Item number 5 is discuss, consider, and/or take action on proposed changes to the Wichita County Policy Manual. These were discussed and gone over in detail in Friday's Commissioners Court session, but I'll just go through them again really fast. There's a change made on page 12, and to put the sections of the Texas Penal Code regarding gifts to public servants just as a reminder of what county employees and government employees in general can and cannot do with regards to receiving gifts. There was a change made in an addition of a section 2.06.3 in service animals, which added a section defining service animals as they are defined in the Americans with Disabilities Act, and making it clear that in accordance with Texas and federal laws, only service animals will be permitted in Wichita County public buildings, so not support animals. I am going to propose at least discussion of one change to that. Right now, it's only service animals will be permitted in Wichita County public buildings, period. I thought we might want to consider whether or not we wanted to add during business hours to that, so that if folks are up here working on the weekend or at night and for some reason need to not be going back and forth, that they're able to bring their animals in since there's no public here. I just wanted to get y'all's thoughts on if that's better or worse, if it, what we might want to do.
problem with that.
What do you think, Barry?
I think it sounds logical myself.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to propose that we add 3 words to that new section 2.06.3, which is only service animals will be permitted in Wichita County public buildings during business hours.
During regular business.
During regular business hours. We'll add 4 words, not 3, during regular business hours. Third change was to add a section making it clear that county employees, this was already in existence, but if you are a county employee and you have outside employment, you are already, under current policy, supposed to notify your supervisor, make sure they know. This would just add, have them fill out a form that's prescribed in Appendix 1 of the manual, a form to fill out to provide to a supervisor, so that that gets translated from there's a change in office staff, change in elected official, change in department head. Also added a section on breaks, just making it clear that county policy is to allow for a 15-minute break in the morning and a 15-minute break in the afternoon, which that had not been something that was previously said in county policy. And then finally, on page 65, our new courthouse security policy had made it so that you weren't allowed to exit from secure doors if you weren't authorized to enter through those doors. So certain doors you're only allowed to enter if you're legally allowed to carry in the courthouse or if the commissioner's court has explicitly authorized it. Well, we ended up in this situation where security is designed to keep people out, not keep people in. And so this would make it so anybody can exit through secured doors, unless there's some other notification on the door that you're not allowed. There's a fire exit door. This doesn't authorize you to go use a fire exit. Again, a lot of fairly small changes, but things that, again, we discussed in detail on Friday. Be happy to answer questions. David, do you have a question?
Judge, I have a question on the 15-minute break.
Yeah.
Does that apply only to non-exempt employees, in other words, hourly employees? I don't want to run into a situation where, I don't expect this of any of my current folks, but where somebody's in court and they're like, I'm 15-minute break. Are you following?
Yeah, and I'll have to grab my computer because I didn't have my printout of the full manual.
Okay.
I don't believe, it's not a requirement,
It's
it's
not
an
a requirement.
allowable.
Okay.
Yes.
So department had discretion on that. Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
Judge, after discussing those changes on Friday, I'd make a motion that we approve and accept them
Okay.
Second.
with the things.
With the-
changes
Right, with the
noted this
change on
morning,
the business hour section. And what we will do, as per usual, Kenneth and Tanya and HR will send out to the countywide the new policy manual and with the changes explicitly laid out there.
We are probably in better shape on policy manual right now than we've ever been.
Well, it's
Modern
being
time.
reviewed continuously and
Yeah.
brought in for
Keep
modification.
it up. I think that's a good thing.
So,
And my guess is by the end of this week, I'll have received at least half a dozen angry phone calls. So I mean, we're doing good.
truly a living document at this point.
The judge's number is, yeah.
All right, so Commissioner Mahler has made the motion, seconded by Commissioner Beecham, to approve the proposed changes to the Wichita County Policy Manual with the one amendment. Do I have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0. Item number 6, receive update on courthouse renovations and county courthouse annexes. Commissioner Beecham?
Not a lot to report this week. Pat was out of pocket all week last week, so not a lot of big improvements have been done. This week, the biggest push will be the third floor, the floor tile being removed and replaced. That's all, again, all under warranty. The original floor that was put down on the third floor failed. Something with the exterior coating on it, it was scratching off really easy, so Shaw Floors warrantied the whole thing, and they're replacing it with a lighter tile. So scratches won't be as readily apparent if they do happen, so that's the big push this week. They're still doing punch list items here at the courthouse and now at the annex. If you haven't been over the annex and looked at the entry door to property tax, it's hand painted glass and the doors will be hand painted, and it looks fabulous. That's Mark Hove knocked that out of the ballpark. That's one of the things that we were really looking forward to seeing what that looked like, and it looks great. So that made the project.
Isn't it wonderful that we have people in our community that are truly talented?
Yeah, that hand painted, you don't see that anymore, and that's a nod to the past that we wanted to show in that project, and very well done, very well done.
Good deal.
And Judge, I know Mickey and Jeff ain't here today, I don't wanna do this, but I'm gonna tell you, just a lot of great work. It's been a real stressful last 3 weeks because we had, getting these statements done and done, I mean, once you pull the trigger on 80,000 pieces, you can't pull it back in. The numbers gotta be right, and all that going on and trying to get open, but county maintenance, everybody, our outside vendors who come in and got our Nemo queue running. I mean, it's been like a NASCAR operation, but appreciate Commissioner Beecham and all y'all's support the last 19 months. And I will reiterate this again at some point in time when we have a full court, but very nice project. And like I said this morning, social media is lit up with some pictures that were taken to our lobby, and it's just phenomenal, the support and the comments that have been made. And it's been a journey, but very glad to get it done. And like Barry's alluded to, as far as the debt on that, just almost no long-term debt at all as far as associated with that project. So we're very proud of it. Hope the public will be too.
You know, Judge, when you look at everything we've done in this courthouse and continuing, we're not through, and we've got some more to do. One of the things I'm really proud of is we've maintained our footprint. I think all too often, it's just too easy to leave an old empty building standing and go off somewhere and do it. We've not done that in Wichita County. We've utilized the facility that's here, brought it up to speed. It's functional, and I think it's just a win-win for this community, and I'm glad we've done it that way. It's a good approach.
All the projects here, we've actually increased our footprint
We
within the
have.
box.
We've increased our usefulness without increasing the
Right,
real
that's
footprint,
very
yeah.
good. So we've
But
added
I
a
think
courtroom
that's-
and
yeah.
added the 5th floor, which has been a complete game changer
You bet.
for our court system, for our training purposes, for anything else that we do. That 5th floor is probably one of the most utilized spaces now. And who would have thought?
And Commissioner, even for the LEC, we went with property that we owned, we already maintained. We didn't have to go outside the box. And I think it's a good way to do it. I think it's a responsible way to do it. And I'm just tickled that the functionality is gonna improve tremendously, and that's important.
Well said. Any other questions on this item? Okay. It is 9:46 and court is adjourned.